All right, here we are with 1.5 human environmental interaction. Again, anything that I glaze over too quickly, you need to fill in using your AMSCO reading or your dictionary. All right, so today we're going to look at explaining how major geographic concepts illustrate spatial relationships and then the theories regarding the interaction of the environment and humans. So go ahead and pause your video here so you can set up your notes. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is this concept of cultural ecology, which is basically the study of how humans interact or adapt to the environment. And then from cultural ecology, we have two schools of thought: environmental determinism and possibilism. Okay. So environmental determinism, it has been around since the 18th century, which would be 1700s. And basically, this is the belief that landforms and climate are the most powerful forces that shape human behavior and societal and cultural development. So, just in the name environmental determinism, the way I remember it is the environment determines how you're going to live your life. So, a really simple idea would be the Inuit people who live in the northern Canada, northern Alaska. They have had to adapt to their environment. The Mother Nature has dictated that it is cold and hard to live there. So, the humans have had to change a lot of their way of living to adapt to the environment. Okay. Um, what is interesting with this is there is some connections between environmental determinism and the idea behind racism in present day. So there's this conclusion that warmer climates tend to cause the people to have a more relaxed attitude toward work and progress. This leads some people to believe that Europeans and those from temperate climates were more motivated, intelligent, and culturally advanced than those of warmer climates. There is also a genetic connection between the original lands that people originate from and the basically the amount of melanin in their skin. So that's an interesting connection to this. All right. This is an idea here of, sorry, woo, this map is showing here the environment determines or what controls what happens in these areas. So you guys can see here the title is Dry Lands that are vulnerable to desertification and their categories. So these are areas in the world where they are basically becoming arid, non-arable farmland. And obviously living here is going to have an impact on the natural food available, the natural fibers available for clothing. So you can start to see connections between the way the people dress and eat in the colored areas is going to be determined by the environment. Okay, so the other side of this is possibilism. And this is kind of really more modern. This acknowledges the limitations imposed by the natural environment, but focuses on the role of human culture to modify and respond to the environment to fit its needs. In other words, as technology has progressed and human understanding of things has progressed, that has allowed humans to take more of an active role in shaping and controlling their environs around them. So whether we had the technology to start to bring in water to places that really naturally shouldn't have water. Las Vegas, Nevada, one of my favorite places to go. Great example of this. It's a desert wasteland there. And if it wasn't for the Hoover Dam damming up the Colorado River, then there would not be water source in Vegas. But now, because we have modern technology, anything was possible. And we have the metropolis that is now Vegas. All right, this is a really interesting adaptation, if you will, of the environment. So this is Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, and they have built these islands off their coast, and they use basically backfilled sand, backfilled rocks, and you can see the aerial footage of this. It ends up being this really cool like pattern, but they've obviously created land where land didn't previously exist. So this is a great example of possibilism. All right, again, Hoover Dam. We dammed up the river, which has now obviously led to being able to irrigate areas that would have never previously been really humanly inhabitable. Okay, the Inca people in South America, this is going to be their farming method. And you also see this like terrace and step farming in Southeast Asia. This is basically figuring out a way to farm on land that is too steep, that obviously any of the water or the seeds would have just rolled right off and not ever been able to germinate. But creating these step or terraces has allowed them to utilize the natural landscape in a way that may not have been possible before. All right, so again, 1.5, explain major geographic concepts illustrating spatial relationships. And this is all about cultural ecology. And then you have the two schools of thought: human or environmental determinism, the environment tells you how you're going to live, and possibilism, which is kind of anything is possible if you put your mind to it. All right, guys, have a great day. Thanks.